After yesterday's epic cabinet sleepover,
but this war is going on, and the president is trying to end it, not because...
The fallout is coming from all sides to Secretary Hegseth's misappropriation of the meaning of the fog of war to justify cold-blooded murder. Can't be a war crime. We're not at war. Okay, well, death is death after all, and it seems these GOP ghouls have an insatiable bloodlust for it.
I would like Trump and Hegseth to make it last a long time so that they lose a limb and bleed out a little.
Welcome to Occupy Democrats, and please hit that subscribe button. Take a second. It'll help us continue to expose Trump's hypocrisy and clear the fog of war.
Because the thing was on fire. It was exploded and fire and smoke. You can't see anything. You got digital. This is called the fog of war.
Okay, they say pride goeth before the fall, goeth the saying, and Pete Hegseth is hubris, bluster, and arrogance stuffed in an ill-fitting suit. What, Fashion Plate Pete's never been to a tailor? You tell me. Okay, in our featured story, today, one of Hegseth's former Fox colleagues and current Newsmax legal analyst just destroyed him and laid him out cold over this display of arrogant frat boy Pentagon preening from yesterday's junk drawer cabinet meeting.
Watch that first strike live. As you can imagine, at the Department of War, we got a lot of things to do. So I didn't stick around for the hour and 2 hours, whatever, where all the sensitive site exploitation digitally occurs. So I moved on to my next meeting. A couple of hours later, I learned that that commander had made which he had the complete authority to do. And by the way, Admiral Bradley made the correct decision to ultimately sink the boat and eliminate the threat.
Secretary, on the second strike, you said it happened more than an hour after the first. Did I hear it correctly?
I can tell you the exact amount of time.
Now, as you are about to see in our featured video coming up in just a second, the outrage is significant across political lines and professional lines. In fact, one of the most devastating criticisms of Hegseth comes from someone who worked with him closely for years at Fox. Now, wait until you see this takedown. It happened on Newsmax last night. It's epic. It's coming up on the other side of this morning montage of the beating drums of criminal accountability for the SS Secretary of War. In fact, this SS BS, it's a wide-open window to begin to undo the horrors of the Trump administration. We can't lose this opportunity. Here we go.
The day after this strike, he was on TV sort of bragging about having seen it and had the tape, and I saw it in real time. Today he said, well, I didn't see the second strike. I had to go to a meeting. Well, I want to see his calendar for that day. I want to know what meeting he went to. I want to know how long he was, where he was. And I want to see, we want to see, the committee wants to see the whole tape of exactly what transpired. The second thing that's worrisome about this, it's been reported that his order was kill everybody. That in itself is an illegal order.
I served on active duty as a JAG for 4 years and then an additional 21 years in the reserves. And let me be very clear, killing shipwreck survivors is a war crime. The Pentagon's own Department of Defense law manual on the law of war literally says that, quote, orders to fire upon the shipwrecked will be clearly illegal.
He runs around on a stage like he's a 12-year-old playing Army. And it is ridiculous. It is embarrassing. And I can't imagine what our allies think of looking at that guy in this job, one of the most important jobs in our country.
There's a very distinct statement was said on Sunday. Secretary Hegseth said he had no knowledge of this and it did not happen. It was fake news. It didn't happen. And then the next day from the podium of the White House they're saying it did happen. So either he was lying to us on Sunday or he's incompetent and didn't know it had happened.
I have been listening. Again, I was pretty busy yesterday. Didn't follow a lot of the news, but I caught up a little bit early this morning.
said the pipsqueaker of the House. Man, you guys are effed, hoisted on your own foul petard of righteous arrogance in defense of the indefensible. Don't take my word for it, Secretary Niedermeyer. Here's your former colleague, just last night, telling it like it is on the channel that you all love, Newsmax. It's our featured clip of the day, and I don't think Pete's going to have a keg to stand on when the fog finally clears. Here comes the judge.
It gives me no pleasure to say what I'm about to say because I worked with Pete Hegseth for 7 or 8 years at Fox News. This is an act of a war crime, ordering survivors who the law requires be rescued instead to be murdered. There's absolutely no legal basis for it. Everybody along the line who did it, from the Secretary of Defense to the Admiral to the people who actually pulled the trigger, should be prosecuted for a war crime for killing these two people.
And who would bring that prosecution forward?
Military would bring the, because they're all active duty military, not the Secretary of Defense, but everybody else would be subject to a court martial. I don't know where this is going to go. Republicans in the Congress seem to be as exacerbated by it as the Democrats do. I think it's getting beyond politics now. The killing is out of hand. And this last one, in which Pete Hegseth first denied that he gave the order, and then the White House said he did give the order, and then the White House said it was in self-defense. Self-defense. You got two people in the ocean clinging to a burning boat to stay alive, and they're going to be killed for self-defense?
Wow. Okay, well, let's get the last word on the fog of war matter from a recent post from a combat vet who clearly knows much more than this guy. Bottoms up and damn the torpedoes.
You know, just so you know, when Pete talks about we didn't really know what was going on, we hit it once and we didn't really know what was going on, the kind of assets that we have that monitor strikes and then post-strike are the best in the world. They knew exactly what was going on. So be aware of that. So this fog of war stuff is, and he's just throwing out a term is what it is, and he's hoping that that's going to save him, in addition to throwing Bradley squarely under the bus that he has created with his own actions. So there you have it.